And I just discovered that two gear sets have the same thing in common, and I want to show it to you. So let me just set up the stream and we'll get to it. This is pretty interesting. Alright, where are we? New stream. Sorry, I gotta set this up every time I do it, because, I don't know, PlayStation's just weird. PlayStation 5 is weird, sorry. I'm not sure why it does this, but anyways. Let's get this going so we can get to it right away. Alright, let's put this there. Whoops, not there. Here. Put it here. Alright, so that, and that. Alright, so we'll do that. Sorry, it took me a minute here. I'm just speeding through this to try to get it all done. Oh, I did it too quick. I did it too quick. Just slow it down here for a second so I don't miss that step. There we go. Alright, so we'll go that. Alright, and we'll immediately squash this right away. Why this comes up every time, I don't know, but they need to do something about it because it's really annoying. Alright. Okay, I got that done. Now I just need to add this. Whoops, get in there. Alright, where are you? Put you there. And the one thing that I like about vidIQ tools is you can do this, which makes things a lot easier. And then you can do this. Alright, so we'll start off, make sure this is all good. Alright, let's get up there quick. Give me 1 second, guys. Alright, so there really hasn't been much talk about this because, I mean, I'm sure people know about each individual thing, but they probably didn't put two and two together like I just did. Well, I shouldn't say I just did. I've been doing this for a couple weeks, actually. I've been putting this together. So one thing I've noticed, let's see what we'll start with first. Okay, let's start with the one, I think the one I'm using right now. Yes. Okay, and yeah, we'll put Eclipse protocol on to start. This is really interesting. I did not realize this until I was playing around with both these things. And I noticed that there was something in common, which really got my attention. And I will guarantee you, beyond a doubt, that other people have not paid attention to the similarity either. But I'll show you what it is. Alright. Let me just make sure I don't have a weapon that's going to compromise this. Oh, I don't think so. I think we're all good. Okay, so that's all good, right? Alright, let's go. We're gonna get this maxed out real quick. You can see that it does 498. Now you see that it does 648, and my vial mask is clicking for 116. Right? Anyways. So you saw almost a 200,000 jump in damage when I got the thing. I'll tell you why. So I'm using explosive, and I'm going to show you a difference when you obviously use the difference here. So on the backpack of the Eclipse protocol, you have the ability to amplify your damage when somebody has a status effect on them, right? So therefore, if something is bleeding, or in this case, it's got the vial mask on it, it's going to make the vial mask tick stronger, first of all. The bleed is also going to be stronger as well, and when I'm using the pestilence, if it like you just saw, if it's doing 498,000 per tick, and then all of a sudden I activate a status effect on that target, it now jumps up to 648,000 per tick. And the status effect that I'm using is the EMP sticky bomb, and the reason why I'm using the sticky bomb is because it has the longest duration. Therefore, the damage will stay at what it should be. As long as I keep it refreshed, it'll stay at that same damage. Which is almost, not quite, it's about 50,000 shy. So you're getting about 150,000 increase in damage per second, which is pretty big in my opinion. But that's only because I'm not using glass cannon. Now, the other thing that helps this out, like you saw the 116, who is that?
You have received an invite to another agent's group.
Okay, I'd love to join you right now, buddy, but you're gonna have to give me a minute. So I'm gonna decline this. So you seen that the damage was increased significantly, and the vial mask also jumped up as well. Now, that's for this. That's for Eclipse Protocol. Okay? Eclipse Protocol is pretty nasty if you learn how to use it even better. Now, a lot of people go with the chest piece because it's you can still spread like this still spreads. It's just instead of 10 meters, I think it's 5 because I'm not using the chest piece. Or is it 10? Let me just confirm this. I don't want to get this wrong. Okay, so sorry, it's 10, and then when you put the chest piece on, it's 15. That's right. All right, so it's 10 meters, so it's still a good spread. It's still a good spread. So that's why I'm not using the chest piece. As you can see, I'm using Demolitionist. Demolitionist also seems to help out here. But when I add another piece of China Light, it gets another boost. Now, if I switch this, let me see what it does here first. I'm pretty sure it's pretty good still. So I'm going to hit this with the Vial Mask, just to show you the bleed on that. Okay, so it's 116,000. It switches too. If I use a different weapon, see how it went down? I go back to this weapon, it goes up. Okay, so your weapon, it depends on your weapon too. Your weapon dictates the damage as well. Even if it's ticking, right? Okay, so that is with explosive delivery on a China Light piece. If I switch over to my other piece, which is a China Light piece again, but this time it's got glass cannon on it. I'm now at 122,000. Now I'm at 144,000. Okay, that's my Vial Mask, by the way. My Vial Mask is ticking at 144,000 with glass cannon when I switch over to my Pestilence. Okay, and now if I throw this bad boy out, it's also going to get a major boost. It's almost doing 100k. The damage, the bleed is doing almost 100k itself. Okay. And as you can see, my status effect is just running out now. That status effect lasts a long time, that's why I'm using it. It's really easy to use. But the Vial Mask is ticking at 144,000 a second. That's just the Vial Mask. I haven't even gotten any pestilence marks on them yet. I haven't even had to shoot a bullet. And then my bleed is doing 97,000 a second. Like that's... Right? If I go all out... This thing is crazy. You can't see the bleed because the numbers are going crazy up the screen. They're going down the screen, sorry, not up the screen. But yeah. So that's this set. Now I gotta get out of here. So what I was basically showing you is the fact that when you use the backpack for the Eclipse protocol and you hit a status effect on something, it doesn't matter if it's right then and there. Anything you do, bleed-wise, is going to increase per second. Now I think you know where I'm going from here, but I'm going to show you anyways. I just want to make sure I have it set up. I might have to go through this list. I might have to reset it back up manually. Yeah, I do, because I put everything away and everything got screwed up. So let me just see if I have it on me. I don't have to worry about this because I have it saved. So even if I, put pieces here, it's not going to matter. So, yeah, I'm going to have to get them back out. So, or I can just tell you. Doesn't matter. I can show you and tell you. It doesn't matter, but I'll tell you before I show you. So Eclipse Protocol, you probably saw me doing this with the system corruption before. So when you activate Hackstep Protocol on system corruption, you can also make things bleed harder. You can also make the biomass tick harder as well. So then when I play with Eclipse Protocol and I play with the backpack on Eclipse Protocol, I noticed that the same thing happened, only I didn't have to have a Hackstep Protocol. So I was like, okay, there's two gear sets right there that could do the same thing. So therefore, you can build these any way you want. And this is going to be crazy. Because both make bleeds and biomasks and pestilence bleed harder. But the difference is, with Eclipse Protocol, that shit spreads. Okay, that shit spreads. So if it dies, it's going to spread and do it again, without you even have to shoot a bullet. Now, I was using explosive delivery. That gives my biomask was taken at 116,000. When I switched over to glass cannon, that was also on a China Light piece, I went from 116,000 a second on my biomask to 144,000 per second on my biomask. Now, I don't know. I've never seen a biomask tick that high. That's crazy. That was just my biomask with just a simple disruption. When I threw my hive out, the bleed was increased to 97,000 a second, plus the 144,000 a second. Now I haven't even fired a bullet yet, and it's doing over 200 some odd thousand. I add some pestilence to the mix. I can get it up to it's 810,000 to tick on my pestilence, 144,000 on my vial, and 97 on my bleed. All at once I fully stack. And you know things when they're bleeding shit, they're all running around like crazy. They're too busy about the status effect to worry about you. Or you can just, without using the bleed, you don't even need the bleed, right?
Agent requesting backup.
I haven't even fired a bullet yet. I'm probably gonna have to, but it's practically, the yellows wouldn't be dead. I can show you what happens to the yellows, but it does a pretty good damage. It does some pretty good damage without even firing a bullet. That's the funny part. That's my biomask ticking. Then I throw this bad boy out to get some more action. See, my thing hasn't even ran out yet. And see how that spread? That's what I'm saying. It spreads like crazy. Just rinse and repeat. Now, like I said, if I switch weapons, the damage goes down a little bit. Depends on the weapon, right? So, one thing I've noticed about this is my Pestilence seems to jack up the damage the most. I don't have to fire a bullet. I can just pull the Pestilence out. Let me switch it up with a different weapon. I might have to go get a different one. Oh, let's use my Scorpio. I'll show you what I mean. So I'll put the Scorpio on. See the difference? 122,000. So my Pestilence makes a big difference. And see, the other one went down too from 97 to 93, right? So it depends on your weapon. $136. I switch over to Pestilence, switch over to my other LMG, it goes back up to 143. So I think it's LMGs in general. I've gotten that theory that it's LMGs in general seem to affect. Like you can switch from SMG, you can try different ones if you want. I think I've already done that though, and I've come to the conclusion that the LMGs really jack up the damage. So I'm gonna pull a bunch of weapons out. I'm gonna pull a bunch of different weapon types out to see which one. I believe it's LMGs, but we'll do this. We'll take this out. We'll take a rifle out. Or no, that's an assault rifle. Never mind. We'll take an SMG out. We'll just leave that because I already have them on me. I'll take one of those out. Okay. I think my marksman rifles are all on the other character. So we'll do this. We'll start with I think I already did. We'll put the shotgun on. I think I already did this though with the Scorpio. So 136,000 is pretty decent for the shoddy. That's just my biomask, by the way. Okay, so let's put on an assault rifle. 122,000. Yeah, we'll switch it over to a SMG. 122,000. Pistol. Same thing. Let me refresh this. Yeah, pistol's the same. Okay, rifle. Any changes with rifles? No? Okay, now we're gonna switch it to LMGs. Okay, let me put the proper LMG on. It's probably my expertise level that's doing it actually. Okay, so now it's only doing 136 for some reason. Okay, cool. But one thing I've noticed is I just went through the weapon types and I noticed that LMGs give the most damage. Yeah, there you go. It's back up to 144,000, almost 145. Very close to 145,000. I can see the numbers jumping at the bottom. So, the other thing that changes as well, so let's say I decide I want to use a different... Everything plays a role in this, by the way. Everything does. So I'm using Demolitionist. If I go ahead and go to... Let's try this one. Let's try Sharpshooter. I don't think it's going to do anything. I think it's going to reduce it, but... It depends on what you're doing. It depends on what you have. I don't want anything dying too. Alright. So that's 133, so you lose 11,000 there. 11,000, 600, I think it is. So, it's not too much, but it's still not as strong. This is how you truly test something. You have to go through everything. You have to go through all the specializations to see if it's a fluke, or if indeed that's the strongest one to use for that. Now, when things happen, like if you pick another specialization and you notice the similarities, then you've got to narrow it down even more, right? If it happens again with a different specialization, then you need to figure out why. Okay, so it's exactly the same. Exactly the same. Okay, so I know these two actually reduce the damage. This is probably going to reduce it as well. It may strengthen it a little bit, but I doubt it. Then again, I could be wrong. It could strengthen it a little bit. Or it might be the same. I don't think it's going to be. No, it's exactly the same. So, I'm starting to already rule out what it's definitely demolitionist. I have a feeling it's going to be, that's going to be the case. And it's the 10% explosive damage that's helping out. Same. Now, as much as I'd like to skip over and say, forget firewall, I've got to try it too. Because what if it's the same? I don't think it's going to be, but... The same thing happens when you have the other one too. The other gear set that I was talking about with system corruption has the same ability to do the same thing. The only difference is, like I said, the only difference is you can spread the virus, or the thing that your stats affects, as opposed to you cannot do that with system corruption. But the damage over time is the same. Same idea. Okay, so it's exactly the same. I figured it would be. So therefore, I've ruled out all specializations. It's definitely demolitionist that's helping out. And then I can narrow it down further and say that 10% explosive damage is probably what's doing it. Plus, I've already got 15 on. I've already got 15%, so I got 25%. So when I reduce my explosive damage, the biomax seems to tick lower. So that was easy to figure out that part. It's annoying. It's a really annoying process to figure this out, because you have to go through all that shit and then say, okay, it's working when I use this one and the other specializations it's not working with. What does this, that's the next thing you have to do, is what does this specialization do that's different than anything else? And the one thing that sticks out for me is explosive damage, 10%. So, and now we have to figure out why. Why does that 10% explosive damage, or any explosive damage for that matter, play into this thing? Now, did you notice something about this? Did you notice something about this particular tree that's different than some of the others? Okay. There's a 5% damage to targets out of cover, but I highly doubt that's the problem. I'm willing to bet it is right here. Okay. Now, look at that. Look at this tree again, and you'll notice that there's something missing to the side. Let me go to technician and show you. See the technician tree? See how there's two options here: skill damage or skill healing. That tree basically takes this, puts it here, gets rid of that. What about gunner? Gunner, same thing. Is technician actually the only one that does that? I think it is. Yeah, it is. So technician, there you go. And if you wanted to figure that out, you just did. Technician's unique in that sense.
I've got the biggest inventory in DC.
So now we know that it not only it's demolitionist, 10% explosive damage, and then I also know that if I change this to anything else but this, it's going to affect it again. So I know that the 15% explosive damage here and the fact that I'm using glass cannon also plays into a role of, and if you read this, all damage you deal is amplified by 25%. And then you read this backpack, amplifies all damage you deal to status effect. It's the same idea. Okay. So I have a feeling that that also is playing in together. It's all like a big handshake, right? It's all working together. If anything gets changed, anything, doesn't matter if it's that chest piece or if it's the specialization, you will not get that kind of damage per second. Like my biomass is clicking for the most part. It's anywhere from 136 to 144. It's usually 144 straight up. But still, that's a pretty good bleed on a vial mask. That's not like I haven't even thrown this out yet. Right? When that thing's fully clicking, I'm getting like anywhere from 91 to 97,000 per second on my bleed, 144,000 on my vial, and then I have a pestilence at my disposal, so you do the math. I can still stack that, and if I can get full stacks on the pestilence, that's 810 per second there. So I can dish out some serious damage, and I'm only using Eclipse protocol. This is nothing major. But when I was using system corruption and I was playing around with it earlier, and I think it was a couple weeks ago, I remember, making a stream showing that when you activated Hackstep protocol on a bleeding enemy, you could make the bleed stronger, much stronger actually. So then when I was playing with Eclipse protocol just a couple days ago, I noticed that when I wore the backpack and I activated a status effect on something that was bleeding, I was like, holy shit, like, my vial mask is doing so much damage, and so is my bleed. So then you put two and two together, right? Why do these two gear sets? Maybe there's more, right? When people discover things, usually they discover something and they go, well, that's all you can do with that. I like to dig deeper. What else can it do? That's what I'm trying to figure out, is what else can I do with this? There's got to be some things I can do. What if I change pieces to a different, to a red or yellow or blue? That's going to affect things too. Sometimes you can get even more damage out of it. Obviously I don't want to go technician. What if I added, I don't have to have the vial mask, but it certainly plays good with this build. So this is what I'm running. Just four yellows. Two of these are red. So I have two pieces of Eclipse that are red because I want some damage. Oh, look who it is. Look who it is. It's Reggie from hockey. Finally came to the dark side, did you?
Please approach the safe area using one of the designated checkpoints.
see what you're running. Let's see if you've been learning anything I showed you. Perfectly skilled. Okay. I don't know why he's running 4 of those pieces. I'm gonna have to talk to him about that. You don't need 4 of those pieces, buddy. Maybe that's the only thing he has. I don't know. I mean, he's low level. He just got past the. He's just starting to get his watch level. So, oh, let's see what you're using for skills, buddy. The mop. Okay. And steady hand. He's using the demolitionist with a gray pistol. Interesting. But why is he running 4 of these? you only get benefited from running 3 of those. So you're kind of wasting something here. How do I find out what level somebody? He's shade level 7, so maybe I can give him some stuff. I'm telling you, if this guy ran with me, I could have this guy built up so quick. I have so much pieces when I get pieces and when I do runs. So many god rolled pieces I could drop for him that would just make his build so much better. Like just getting rid of one of these pieces. Because you don't need to. Never do this, by the way, if you're new to watching this. Never go beyond your brand set bonus max, which is 3. Right? You get 3 pieces, that's all you get benefited for. So why you never run 4 pieces. Next time I play hockey with this guy, I'm going to talk to him about that. I'm going to say, I saw your build. I just wanted to tell you, you should think about not going beyond your thing, because it doesn't really do anything for you once that happens. Because it doesn't. Unless it's a chess piece or something. Like, say you're running a piece here, and a piece here. But still, there's no point, right? If you're going to run perfectly skilled, then get rid of one of these pieces. I don't know why he's running that. That's interesting.
Talking to yourself again.
So, but yeah, I see some people running some weird stuff. I know if I inspect this player right here. See, this is exactly what we're trying to get away from. Can nobody build a build that's not the same shit that everybody else is running? Unbreakable with perfect vigilance. Unbreakable with perfect vigilance. Come on, guys. Fuck. Drives me nuts. It drives me nuts because it's like they don't have any creativity. They have no logic. They're just like, hey, check out this build. Everybody's using it. Let's all use the same shit and be retarded. This is very killable. It looks like it's not. I'm not gonna lie, it looks decent. But it's not gonna save his life. I bet you he's lacking something. Let me look. I bet you if I looked at his stats, let me see if I can see his stats. He's got some pretty good chance and damage, I'm not gonna lie. But let's go look at some of his defenses. 10% hazard protection. What do you think I'm looking at when I look at this? When I look at this as a total, I see that he has no hazard protection, first of all. But what is one thing that sticks out that you would think that I would probably use against him to kill him? That's right, right there. Right there. 95% of people do not focus on this stat right here. And that's why I exploit the shit out of it, because I know that they don't use this defense. Because they think, a lot of these people think that when they run hazard, that that's included, but it's not. As a matter of fact, this one and this one are not a part of hazard. So, when you're going to build a hazard build, you might want to think about this one right here. Because I have a hardwired build that just stacks explosive damage and skill damage, and it just loves people that don't wear any of this. They die very fast. You see how he has 1.1 million armor and he has unbreakable? I guarantee you my first Seeker Mine that hits him is going to fucking destroy his first bar of armor. He's already going to be into his second bar. Then I'm going to drop another one and then he's going to be dead. Because when you run hardwired, you know you can spam, right? You can spam your Seeker Mines. And then it's a natural ability of that skill, that gear set. So, yeah. I love when I see people with those, but it's like the meta thing, right? Everybody's like, hey, this guy's running, I'm gonna run it too. This guy's running, I'm gonna run it too. Okay, everybody's running it, let's run it. We're all gonna do the same thing. So boring, so boring, so boring. And so beatable. Predictable. How about we wear something that's a little bit stronger than that? Like, I commend him for putting a couple of blue pieces on, like turning them into blue pieces, but it's still not going to save them, unfortunately. Unbreakable, everybody thinks that they're God when they have Unbreakable. It's like, do you realize how fast I can annihilate your first set of armor? That doesn't matter if you're running Unbreakable, you're still going to die. It's just a matter of how you want to die. How quick do you want to die? Unbreakable is useful. It is. But it's not going to be, you're not God just because you're running it. I don't know why all these people run around thinking they're good. They think that they can just use it and be like, oh, I won't die, I've got Unbreakable. You haven't seen my fucking hardwired set then, have you? I know a guy that he was running a really good build. He was running Unbreakable and I fucking owned his ass so fast with hardwired, the way I run it. Because I stack explosive damage like you wouldn't believe. And yeah, even he was like, what the fuck, when he saw that build. So, whenever I see people running Perfect Vigilance and I see them running Unbreakable, I'm like, oh, there's the new build.
Consumption of drugs and alcohol on site is forbidden.
That's the other thing. Everybody thinks crit hit damage is going to save them too. It does. It's really good. But it's not going to make you God. People have got to start thinking outside the box. None of this bullshit meta crap. A lot of those meta builds are garbage. Okay? I've already figured out how to kill them. I just told you how to kill them. All the metas can die the same way. Because they never focus on this. They never focus on this stat right here. I don't have it either, so I can't really complain. But I'm just saying. All the metas focus on everything but these two stats, usually. Some people have pulse resistance because they have put mods on, but like I said, like 95% at least, if not more, do not focus on that. That will kill you if you do not focus on this stat. If I see that you're not running explosive damage, you're toast. Because I do inspect people's shit. Even when I'm in the dark zone, I look. And when I see this, this is like a field day for me when I see this. I'm like, oh, no explosive resistance. Okay, just give me a minute. I'll be right back to kill that. So if you're going to build a hazard build, use your noggin. Cover that shit up, basically. Don't let it be like this. 10% is not going to save you in PvP if somebody is stacking explosive damage. God, it drives me nuts. I know I don't have it either, but I don't care because nobody's smart enough to fucking use explosive damage. You see my point? It's a two-way streak here. That's why I don't run it, because I don't care, because most people are not thinking about explosive damage. So why do I care? All I do is stack it. I stack the damage. I don't care about the resistance, because... Now, if I was going to focus, like I said, if I was going to focus on an actual hazard build, then I would. Because I know that weakness. But when I see everybody else running around without resistance, I'm like, they're not gonna focus on that because they don't. There's like a handful of people that I've ever ran into that actually do. Just give me a second. I gotta run upstairs for 1 second. I gotta grab a drink and then I will show you. I might have to actually go pull it out of my fucking shit. But yeah, I have a build. I think I made a build video on that one as well. I'll get to that before. Just give me a second. I gotta go upstairs 1 second because apparently somebody wants a drink besides me. Okay, so let me see where my set is. Just want to make sure it's on. I don't think it's in my stash. It could be. I did spread out a lot of stuff over different characters, so I might have to go hunting for it. Let me see if I have it on me. Is this it? There's one piece. There's two pieces. Nope. Oh shit, where'd it go? I might have to go hunting for those two pieces. Okay, give me a second. I got two of those pieces. I'm gonna have to go and... It's okay, I'm on a PS5, so it's not gonna take long for me to get to my other characters anyways, or get back. I just gotta remember which character I gave it to. I think it's that one. And that was knee pads and holster that I needed out of my gear set here.
Safe area detected.
Okay, no, it's not this guy. This guy does have some stuff, but it's not him. So it's my other guy. I've got three other characters. One of them is a hardcore player, but I haven't really gotten him up yet. This guy is my Captain Price guy. He looks just like Captain Price from Call of Duty. That's the way I made him. I was playing around with the settings and I figured the beard and stuff, I figured it out.
Safe area entered.
This guy probably has it. Alright, knee pads. Uh-oh, where's my fucking knee pads? Well, maybe I already have it on me. Okay. Well, then I must have it on me. I didn't check my stuff besides that. I just checked my stash. I should have checked my actual inventory. I probably do have it on me. Okay, so I probably do have those two pieces on me already. I'll have to look. I know I didn't delete them, so I know they're there. They're probably in my inventory. Because I run with a lot of stuff with me. I usually have like a lot of gear sets on me at once because I'm always testing things out. Let me see, I
Safe
probably already
area
have them on me.
detected.
Yes, there it is. There's one piece. There's two piece. There's my third piece. I gotta switch that shit. I didn't get any points. Okay, so let me see. Glass. And I gotta remember what I was running here. Hold on. Never mind, I'll do this. Where did I put that piece? No, where'd you go? Okay, I gotta go searching in my inventory again for the other piece that I normally run with this. It should be in here because I have 63 pieces here, it says. It's right at the top of the list. Nice. That's always nice. Alright, so I've got to fix this piece as soon as I can. What I usually run, because I'm running glass, I usually run it this way. Where is it? I mean, there's two ways I run this. I either run it with glass, which is glass on the China Light piece, or I run it with explosive delivery on a China Light piece as well. So there's two ways I run this. But this is usually, when I PvP, this is usually the way I run it right here. So usually I go like this. I put this bad boy on. I put this big boy on. I'll show you why I do that in a minute. Usually run with that. Get that off. I'm just going to throw whatever there. Because I don't usually fire bullets anyways, because I don't need to. This keeps my shield healed. Alright. I'm missing some skill damage though, because I need to... How many pieces, sir? What do I need to use that actually? Resources. I got ceramics, so it's gotta be... It's money. Okay. That's not a big deal. Let me see if I can delete some shit here.
See ya. You need anything?
Let me go look at my inventory real quick and see if I can sell some shit. I'm sure out of this I probably could. I'm gonna do something with this. Where is it? Yeah, see, I don't use that because I figured this out. I figured out that if you use China Light with glass, it's much better. It's much better for damage because you're adding 15% explosive damage to that. That's why I run it that way. Did I mark those?
Good to see you.
No, I didn't mark
Glad
those.
you got that settled.
God damn it. Your hostess China. I don't know. I don't know. I like it better as a chess piece. I've ran it several different ways. I don't think I need that. Oh, is there a mod on that? Yes, there is, so don't delete that one. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Actually, don't get rid of that because there was something I was going to play with that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that.
What can I do for you? That filled my inventory. Thank you.
Okay, so I just had to switch this around here real quick. Where is it? Yes. So, my knee pads. Is it my holster or knee pads? What the fuck was it? Or am I good now? Did I already get rid of that bad piece? I think I did, actually. Yeah, I did. Never mind. I got rid of it. Okay. I thought I still had that piece on. Alright, where is it?
Hey, you look for something?
I also run this with explosive delivery. I don't really care about these right now. I mean, I could if I wanted to, but I don't really care. Normally I would run with, like, something decent. Just in case, but I don't usually have to shoot a gun. I really don't need to, because things are dead before that happens. PvP, I don't use these in PvP. I use this in PvP. In PvE, I use these because they're pretty nasty. Either way, they're crazy. Let me turn this off. Alright, so let me turn this off. Yeah. Hence why I don't need the Stinger Hive, because a lot of people go with Stinger Hives, right? Did you notice that? Did you see that? It's a thing. It's actually a thing. Um, let me restart that. So it's not just the Eclipse protocol that happens in, by the way. Oh my god, now what? Yeah, no he doesn't. Alright, so... Well, that was really delayed. Let's hit this with the, watch this bleed real quick. Oh shit, it stopped before I could do it. It's probably gonna die now. Yeah, that's what I thought. Anyways, what I was showing you there is as I was switching weapons, depending on which weapon I was holding, the damage actually went up per second with the bleed. So therefore, it is something that happens beyond system corruption and beyond. It must be like a thing. It seems to be the machine guns that give you the most damage per second. I don't know why it does that. That's what I'm trying to figure out. But yeah, no. And I also, like I said, I can run I can run it this way, or I can run it with this guy right here. Where is he? Explosive delivery, which is it's even funnier to watch. I know it does. But I'm not running damaged armor. I don't even have to really wait long. But this is something that people don't expect. You want to know what's something? You know what? Another thing that's funny with this, and this is just something that most people would never expect either. There's another thing that I sometimes do, and it's funny. Is take your decoy out, and throw your decoy at somebody, and they're like, "Oh, it's just a decoy," and then this happens. Yeah. Do you know how many times I have killed somebody in PvP with that? That's hilarious. Because they don't see it coming. Because you see how I saw that gray circle appear, and then the explosion happened? They don't see that gray circle. They don't even know it's there. Therefore, they don't see it coming. All they see is a decoy standing in front of them for like a second. They're like, oh, it's a decoy. Yeah, no, it's not. It's a very deadly decoy. And the thing is I can keep breaking that and rinsing and repeating that. Like if I really wanted to. Didn't hold it long enough. It's funny. It's funny because people just stand there like, oh, wow. And then, yeah. Now they're like, what the f was that? Yeah. So it's pretty good. I like it. I do it sometimes just as a joke. Then I've got my multis that I can also use with explosive delivery. Almost all the targets are dead. It does a lot more damage because there's a lot more explosions going on around it, right? Plus I've got expertise on it. More expertise on this one. I don't have to use the shield when I'm using it this way. I can use my usual set of little, right? I can go with healing, which I probably would. And then I don't need the shield, so because I'm not running it with glass, right? Or I run it with glass and I use the shield. And I use the multi-seeker mines if I'm PvEing, and it does a lot of damage actually. It does a lot more if I put glass on. run at them and do that. So then my next question is this. Let's see how much damage this does if I keep this gun out. Interesting, let's try that one more time. It's a good time. Still faster than regulars. Let me pause this for a second because I think somebody's coming. Time is it? 3:38. Just trying to figure out what I'm having for dinner here real quick. Anyways, yeah. So there's a multitude of ways. Some people wear it that way. I don't know, I like it this way. But I always stack damage. I haven't done anything with these gears yet. This particular set I haven't done really much except for that piece. So I mean, I don't have very much armor. So what I've been working with this is basically, I don't plan on dying type build. But typically I would take this over the hive, like the stinger hive, because at least I can get some heals and I don't have to waste medkits. But like I said, PvEing, I use the multis because they work really good. But as far as like PvP would go, I don't use the multis, I use the explosive secret mine. Again, when you throw a secret mine at somebody, they don't see that gray circle. When you're using explosive delivery, they don't see this circle coming. Right, so, and the thing I like about this is if he's hiding behind that as his, like let's say he's hiding behind that, and let's say it's just a little bit higher up. So let's say it's that crate he's hiding behind. All I have to do is do this. Throw it right there. See how that circle goes around the crate? It completely covers that crate. It doesn't matter if he's hiding behind that, it's still going to get him. Because he's in that circle. He's still in the circle. So it kind of reminds me of the oxidizer when you hide behind cover and somebody hits the front of the cover, it goes through the cover and gets you. Same idea. So, but they don't see that, right? They don't see that. So they're like, oh, I got time to run away. But they don't realize is when that blows up, that kind of staggers you a little bit. And then there's a good chance that my seeker is going to follow up and hit pretty much instantaneously. So you're going to be taking, because I've seen this in action. I've actually seen this in action. I do about 1.4, 1.5 million damage with just the initial explosion, and then my seeker mine does about 5 or 6 million. So usually the initial explosion, this part right here, it usually breaks their armor, and if they have unbreakable on, then my secret mine kicks in right after that and takes care of the other part. So that's why I say they die quick, especially if I'm using the explosive one. Alright, but for now I've got to get off here. I'll be back in a little bit. So, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. You know, the usual stuff. I will be back though. I'll show you more about this as well. If I'm not playing hockey, that is. Alright guys, take care.